Welcome to Neat at Integrate 2024, and I'm going to showcase all the products we have on display here today and what's new with Neat. First up, we have the Neat Bar Generation 2. It's the same as the Neat Bar, but better. It supports a single or dual display option, running Zoom or Microsoft Teams. But new features such as single cable USB, so being able to bring audio and video over that one cable. We have it paired to the Neat Pad as a controller, while we also have our new BYOD manual mode, where I simply slide it out and we can enable BYOD mode, and we have the splash screen guiding us. Next up, we have our Neat Bar Pro running Microsoft Teams in a dual display setup. And we have some new features here with the latest Microsoft Teams update. For example, being able to join a meeting with an ID from Microsoft Teams, which you've always been able to do, but now we have the option of Zoom as well. Simply walk in, enter meeting ID, and you're connected. We'll also have some custom wallpapers coming very soon in our next release. Also, in our new release of software, we have enabled microphones in the pad. The microphones have been there since day one in the hardware, but they are now enabled in the software. If you have a room that is acoustically challenged and you want an extra microphone, you can simply enable it in the software, and the mics are now closer to the users. Very simple to set up, so feel free to test it out now. Next up, we have a Neat Bar Pro on a single display. So again, very similar setup, but we also have a scheduling panel outside the room, and this time it's not Microsoft Teams panel, it's actually AppSpace. So as part of our App Hub story, which we'll show you in a second, you can mix and match schedulers with different applications that are certified by Neat, and then have that outside the room, and then inside the room you have the same piece of hardware, which is the Neat Pad, but as a controller for your room. Neat Bar Pro, we do some very simple things. It can be mounted below the screen, and just make sure you mount it correctly so the cables are up there, so you don't bend any cables, and again, it all looks neat. Over here, we have our Neat Board 50. On our adapter stand, which is great to be able to move it around to any space. The panels at the back are made out of recycled plastic bottles and also have some acoustic elements to it, creating virtual spaces. We have the Neat Board 50 set up here in our App Hub mode that is going to be launched very soon for collaboration applications. So let's say you don't use Microsoft Whiteboard, but you use mtr-a, for example. So I can take our new adaptive pen, so I can come up here and annotate on here. So again, being able to get this up and running, very simple. I start my whiteboard and I can start drawing. But with the new active marker, I can simply carry on drawing and then turn it around and erase. So again, the whole base of the Board 50 is magnetic, so you can place it anywhere. But then, how do I get this mtr-a board into my Microsoft meeting? Well, simply, we've developed Neat Share. So this allows you to wirelessly share whatever is on the Neat Board screen here is then presented on the Neat Bar screen over there, making it easy to collaborate. So for example, with mtr-a here, and then other users with the mtr-a client can then collaborate in real time. Also here we have a browser, so we can bring up anything, and here's all our applications that are in our App Hub. So obviously we boot our devices with Teams and Zoom, and actually in our latest release of software we can boot the device into BYOD only mode as well. So you can just run a cable to the bar, have your laptop and do your meetings that way. Here we have our room availability partners, so we saw AppSpace over there, but we have Robin, 22 Miles and others, and more to come as well. And then on our boards and Neat Frames, we have, visitor management with AppSpace and Robin, but also other applications, obviously mtr-a, Muriel, so all these third-party whiteboarding applications or design ideas like Lucid Spark can be on boards, so giving you complete flexibility with our devices. So this is all run out of Neat Pulse, and again, another latest feature here, we have a Neat Pulse. It's been able to manage updates, so you can see our roadmap of software releases, and then you can see which devices are running which version of software with links to our release notes. And then we're also able to schedule updates now as well. So with this latest update, you can schedule it for 10 PM on Saturday and not have to worry about it. It'll be displayed in here what date you've got scheduled, and it'll just automatically happen, whether that's firmware or applications. Then within our device management platform here, we can see everything. So I can go into the device here, you can add a picture, add some notes, and then we also pick up the people count data. And then the temperature, humidity, etc. is all displayed in here. And with a simple button, I can reboot every room. I can also submit logs to our support desk if you've got Pulse subscription. Again, I've got things on here that I can do with simple profiles, so I can configure once and deploy many. But really, one of the key powerful challenges that people have is, how do I remotely control this device? Well, simply with Pulse, we have the ability for remote control. So we have remote control for the pad and the front of room display. So HDMI 1, essentially we see what's on there, and then after permission from the device in the room, it will automatically accept after 15 seconds, and then I can simply use the device remotely to start a call, check the room, is it okay, is it set up? So again, I see everything on the controller, and I see everything on the front of room display. So very, very simple for admins to come in and support their team wherever they are around the globe. And that is Neat Pulse, available for everyone. And then we've got some integrations possibility. So if you need to go into other third-party platforms like NeoWit, Utology, that can be done with the Neat Pulse API license. So let's look around the booth, and we've got to see what else we have. Here we have our Shure integration. So again, designed for larger spaces, but if you need extra large spaces, we now partner with Shure. So I take my Shure P300 and simply connect it over USB from the 300 processor, connect that into your network, onto your audio network, and then all audio is offloaded from the Neatbar Pro to the Shure system. So you can have multiple table mics, you can have multiple ceiling mics and speakers, etc. So getting that large room coverage space. So again, maybe good in education, lecture theatres, where you need great audio coverage on there. And then next up around here, we have a Neatboard. So here's our Neatboard 50. Again, very similar. We have it on the adaptive stand, so very easy to use on there. And again, another feature we've just launched on the latest releases is our patented Neat Boundary. So we've had this boundary feature for a long time, and we've been able to control what the camera sees. So here we can frame people and block people out, so you can see that camera there. But with our latest update, we can now do Neat Center. So we have our Neat Center hanging over here, and we're also able to control the boundary and framing on Neat Center too. So we'll show you a full Neat Center demo very shortly. This is the Neat Center here hanging from the ceiling. So again, keep the table clear, making it very easy to deploy anywhere. Just a simple network cable that powers it, and then you can add it to any Neat system. So now let's see our Neat Center in action in a meeting room environment. We have our scheduling pad outside here. So we'll come into our meeting room with a Neatbar Generation 2 with a single display, and the Neat Center is sitting on the table. So here we have our single display, and we simply want to join a meeting. We hit our new meeting. So here we have the default sort of camera view where it's wide angle, it's seeing everything that the camera sees, so you can see everything in the room. However, that's not a great experience for the people on the far end. So simply using our Neat Boundary, we've set up a boundary around this room so we can exclude certain areas. And again, you can see we have frosting on the panels here, but if you didn't have frosting and people walk past, the camera would be constantly picking those up. So our patented Neat Boundary eliminates all that. We can then go one step further and enable our Neat Symmetry. So this is our individual framing. We're able to pick up the people in the room, again, in that boundary. And what we can do with our Neat Center now is add on to that. So in a lot of meetings, people are in the room, but there's always one or two hybrid. And what naturally happens is that we turn around and we face each other and we start to have that conversation, and we usually forget about people on the far end. So when we're looking across the table, Neat Center now picks us up, and obviously Neat Center has the microphones in there. There's 16 mic array on top, but I can also move the device as well, so it's not fixed. It auto recalibrates, so very easy to put wherever you want in your meeting space. Now we're looking across the table, and then someone on the far end say, "Hey, what about me?" So then we look back at the front of the room, and we quickly switch to that camera because you want that instant reaction when you look at people on the far end. So that's our Neatbar, Neat Center, and Neat Center can be added to any of our products. So the Neatbar Gen 1, Neatbar Gen 2, Neatbar Pro, and any of our Neat boards. Thanks for watching.